So there you go. They probably heard my whole conversation there, which is absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, Facebook, for coming on. I'd like to welcome Dr. Karen Perkins. And one of the things that I love that you've said, and this is one thing I hear over and over again, what you believe is true for you. And the other one is that you've cracked the code to taking, thoughts, emotions, and beliefs and behaviors, taking control of those. So I'm just going to leave it over to you to explain, who you are and what we're doing here, although it's all about how thoughts become things. So,
Yeah.
Yes, who is Dr. Karen Perkins?
Well, I was born in 1490. No, I'm just kidding. Just kidding. I have a lot of fun, even though I have a doctor's degree, and I look at everything, not everything, but most things scientifically. Um, I I've had several experiences with family members or loved ones that really came back to emotions, which all emotions lead from your thoughts, and some very sad experiences. And because of that, I felt compelled to study thoughts and to study emotions and become a leading expert in thoughts and emotions. And honestly, there is logic behind emotions and emotions behind logic. You cannot have one without the other. And most people think it is one or the other, but it's not. You cannot have one without the other. And what happens is you have a thought. It goes through your amygdala, which is itty bitty bitty teeny tiny pinhead size thing in your brain, and the amygdala assigns it its physical reaction and its emotion. So your behavior, your emotion. And we can change, people say you can't change your emotions. Well, we can change our thoughts. Therefore, we can change our emotions. Now, there are people with chemical issues. Okay, get medicated, please, please. But even then, you need to change your thoughts when that happens. And so that's what got me interested in it to begin with. And I have found over the years with the human behavior and being a certified hypnotherapist, everything came back to the thoughts. And the thoughts, and you think about it, thoughts can control actual machinery. Those people with the mechanical hands, it's their thoughts that make the fingers move,
Never
nothing
thought of that. That's
else.
Yeah, I never thought of that. That's amazing, isn't it?
Yeah, so your thoughts are the core of everything. Your thoughts are energy, and energy is the one law of the universe.
Yeah.
So that's just thoughts are the most important thing ever.
So what is it specifically you do with your clients? If somebody was to come along, and you help them, what is it that you do?
I do a few things, and I'm not a jack of all trades, but I do a lot of stuff with corporate America as well as individuals on change management, which again is, when they're going through a major change, they call me in to help them feel good about the fact their life's going to suck for the next 2 years. Where they're putting in new software programs and things. And I'm one of the United States top 5 change managing coaches. So I help them with that, which all again comes back to thoughts. But I also do a lot of individual coaching. And if you really look at it, it all comes down to change.
Yeah. Well, that's what
And
we're going through at
getting
the minute, isn't it?
comfortable with change. Yeah,
Yeah.
it comes to change and being comfortable with change and not having it be difficult or scary. And so I help them with that. And then I've got a couple of programs. They help them get to where they want to be, really want to be in their life, not what they have thought they wanted to be, but many of us get to a certain point in our careers and we go, is this it?
Mm.
I thought I'd be further ahead, or I thought I'd be happier, or I thought whatever. And I help them take that and now find what their true core value is, and they realign their life with that. And again, it comes down to knowing what your thoughts are, knowing what your heart is, and then getting in track with that. So I do a lot of coaching, and I have study systems, and I have seminars and things around that as well.
I know it's amazing, isn't it? It's like, I always know what Bob Proctor says. It's like, you've got 60,000 thoughts a day. What are you doing with them? Are they any different from last week? But we don't even notice them going through. We could have conversations with goodness knows what about somebody else's business and then wonder why we're feeling, where am I?
Yep. Well, and reality is, you have a minimum of 10 emotions at any given second. Well,
Wow.
all of those come from a thought. So what I tell people is, if you feel really good right now, stop and look at, what am I thinking and what am I doing? And keep doing it. And if you don't feel really good right now, stop and think, what am I thinking and what am I doing? And let's work on making that more like the things that make you happy. And you can have a heavy heart. I am not going to tell people pretend everything is chocolate and roses and sunshine, because it's not. Be realistic. But you can have a heavy heart and still have a happy life. It's a choice, and it comes down to the way you choose to view things. And like you said, what you believe is true for you, even if it's not based on reality.
Actually, most of the time it's probably best not to be based on reality. Make it up. So what is it that we're going to see in the movie? And what was the fun part of the movie for you?
Oh gosh, working with all of these wonderful experts, it was a delight. And the fun part for me was doing what I love some more. Really, it comes down to that, doing what I love more, and knowing that it will go to a larger audience, because it will go to Bob's audience, and it will go to John's audiences, and Joe's audiences, and Marie's, etc. And they teach wonderful things, and I mean, absolutely, people I admire and respect. And we all come from it from a different angle. And I'm excited to share a little bit different angle with those folks. And maybe if they get that little bit different angle, something will click and they'll go, oh. Because for me, if I help one person get that aha, I have been part of changing the world for the better, one person at a time. Because that ripple effect, you don't just help that one person. If their life becomes happier, so does their families, their children, later their children's children, their neighbors, their family's friends. You think about it, your legacy, your legacy starts with the way you believe and you think. And that impacts others. An inheritance is what you leave for other people, but that legacy is what you leave in them. And what you leave in them is what impacts them and changes their life forever. So, I want my loved ones to be impacted with hope and with love and with the absolute knowledge that, you know, my mom always said, it'll all be okay in the end. If it's not okay, it's not the end. And knowing that, you know what, it's going to be okay, gives people hope. And hope is beautiful.
I can't believe that you said all that about legacy. I've just literally, before we got on here, I was just typing out, I told you about, the family where they, like all the kids have got their own podcasts and they're doing all this personal development, and it's just absolutely amazing. And they're watch out for, for those interviews as well. They're going to be amazing. And I said, that's what I can't change what happened with, well, I can rewire myself to think differently about, how my children were brought up, but I can now help as to how my grandchildren are brought up. And I was talking about that legacy and leaving that legacy and changing the world one family at a time, which will ripple out to everybody else.
Well, and you can change the things that your children believe and think. And I love Maya Angelou's quote. She says, I did what I knew, and when I knew better, I did better.
Oh, I love that.
When I knew better, I did better. And, I laugh and I say, man, I messed my kids up. Parents are our first hypnotists in our lives. And man, some of the stuff they hypnotized us on was pretty messed up. But we can get past that. And the fact is that your thoughts chemically impact your whole body. It changes your genetics. It changes the chemicals. The neuropeptides, which hook to the cells. Okay, your cells, you got all these negative neuropeptides hitting them from negative thoughts. Your cells divide every so often, and the dominant things in them will become its own cell. So you have all of these negative cells throughout your body when these divide. Well, the good thing is, and this thing I want people to understand, is that we slough off those cells about every 2 months. And so it's not too late to refill them with positive, and all those cells are replaced. And now we got all these positive cells running around, and it changes us physically, it changes us mentally, and it changes the way we treat other people, which in turn changes the way they feel about themselves and the way they feel about us. And so it's not too late. It's not too
It's
late to
not too
have a
late, I know.
positive life and to impact those around you.
And just when you said that, I was like, we do paradigm work with Bob Proctor, and I just like laugh and I just go, children, you need to do this work because I know how you're programmed now.
Yep,
Because I
yep.
did it. But listen,
I know.
that's
Yeah.
awesome. And I noticed behind you, you've got Living First Class, which I totally, totally love. And so, you know, what is it that you've got for people coming forward? You know, if they wanted to reach out for you after this movie and just if they resonate with you, what is it that you've got going on?
Well, again, I know a lot of us get to a certain point and we do things because we believe that's what we're supposed to do, and or we start along it believing that's what our core value is, and we find one day that it's not really. And you know, and things happen. For instance, an executive works because he wants to give his, or she wants to give their family the best of everything. And one day they come home and their family's gone because all their family wanted was time with them.
Mm.
And now they've lost everything because that was the one thing that was most important to them. And so I have I hate to say a sneaky way because that sounds underhanded, but I have a way that forces them to determine and find out what their true core value is. And then you align with your true core value. Once you know what it is, we can come up with your blueprint for complete and total success with it. And that's what first class is. I mean, it's not necessarily sitting in the front of the airplane or the Lamborghini or whatever. It's about what makes you wake up every morning knowing that this is the best day of your life
Mm.
and thrilled with what's ahead of you. And then, you know, it can be done. And that is my goal and purpose. And that's what I coach people for. I have programs for it. I have home study sets for people just like to do it at home. But, you know, what they can expect is for me to help them find out where they really want to be and then coach them through the actual steps and hold their hand as they go down the new path that they need to take. And the paths are not that hard.
Mm. Not whenever you've got somebody like yourself, you know, like leading them, isn't it? You know, there's so many different people out there, and it's just like great to hear everything that, you know, that you've been through, and you know, to get you to this point now, and all that knowledge because there's just people think they can do it on their own, and if they could do it on their own, they'd have done it. And there's a wealth of information out there, and it's just like, what is it you need? And you just need somebody to go, it's this, and this. Follow me.
You know, I tried it on my own many times, many years, because, you know, I'm smart. Yeah, no.
Yeah,
I don't care how
I
smart
did
you
that too.
are. I don't care how not smart you are. You need somebody to help you with
Yeah.
accountability, and you need somebody that can have an outside perspective. You know,
Mm.
Dr. Phil says, so how's that working for you? Well, I'm not quite that crass, but we find out what works and doesn't work.
Yeah.
And I love them along the way because you know what? I messed up a lot along the way, and I still have things to grow and learn.
Mm.
I'll I'll never be perfect, I hope, because as soon as I believe I'm perfect, I've stopped growing and developing.
Yeah.
And my goal is for all of the people I mentor and coach to outgrow me and to go into another mentor or coach that now meets their new needs. Because if they stay with me forever, I haven't helped them grow in the way they need to.
I absolutely love that. And that last bit's going to stay with me where you say, I mentor them so they grow above me and then they go find someone else. Absolutely love that. That's what Bob's actually said to us. He said, you know, follow me until you're earning more money than me, then go find somebody else. He's just quite happy with that, you know, just keep going, you
Yeah.
know. Oh, that's
Yeah.
absolutely awesome. Absolutely awesome. I noticed that we actually lost our live link, so I'm going to stop the recording here. But literally, thank you so much, Karen. That was just absolutely awesome. And we'll just continue chatting. We're just going to stop the recording for now. And then goodbye to everybody else who's watching this on replay. And I'll see you later.